Now, when tracking for rotoscoping, you're going to want to take a look at the shot and just sort of break it down and see just how granular you need to be. You know, because theoretically we could create a separate track for the upper arm, the lower arm, the legs here, the head, of course. But of course, all of that is going to take a bit of time to render out. And in my opinion, it's probably going to be quicker just to roto the individual shapes rather than set up a track for each one. So I'm really just going to break this down into two tracks. I'm going to do one track for the head, and just a quick little shape for the head. Rename my layer head track. And I'm just going to do a core track as well. So basically just track the center of the body and base the rest of my movements on that. And the reason I'm doing that is just so that I've got some sense of what the camera is doing. And for this one here, I'm going to turn shear off because I don't want it shearing. I just want to really, in fact, I'll probably take rotation off as well and scale. I'm just going to keep translation on, just because I just want to take the camera movement there. So translation there is good enough. I'm also going to turn this one to auto channel as well, because that's probably got a bit of better contrast in it than the luminance value there. And I'm going to call this core track. And let's track away. And the track seems to be holding steady here, so I'm not going to be making any changes to it. Okay, great. And that's all finished, so I'm going to lock up my track layers just to show you that they are pretty good. Let's turn the grid on. Let's turn on our head track there, again with the grid. That seems to be working just fine. So I don't need to make any adjustments to those. Again, just turn all the icons off there, turn my grid back off, and let's get to the fun stuff for the roto. So I'm going to turn my Icon matte back on and turn the matte back on here, and I'm going to also activate my Icon matte so I can see it. Turn the mattes on, take the colorize quite high actually. Because all I'm going to do now is I'm going to start at the head, and I'm just going to start patching any holes that I see. So big hole here, so I'm going to create a head shape, of course. Try and get fairly detailed with it. I'm using the X-spline, but I could just as easily use the Bezier. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to call this head matte, and linking my head matte to the head track so that I don't have to do any more tracking on this. We've already done the tracking. Let's just follow that along and just see if we need to patch anything else up in there. Maybe here. Got my auto key turned on. Now some of this hair is actually taken out from the original by a whole load of flare in the original image. So you can see that this is just basically blowing out and creating this huge amount of light that's wrapping around the original hair. But we're going to deal with that back in the compositing phase. So we'll probably just expand the matte or something at points to bring that back in. So just checking to make sure I can't see any green. That's okay. So that's my head track or my head matte. So let's start breaking this down into other areas here. Turn my matte back on. Turn the colorize back up and see how much of this arm I actually need to roto. In fact, it's only from there back that I need to do anything. I need to cut out this part here. So let's do that. Just make a nice tight roto here. So I'm holding the Z key down if I want to zoom in and out. Holding the control key to adjust the curve of the Bezier. You can see all of this stuff down here, all of this shirt here. This is part of the t-shirt. So we're going to have to be careful here because we want to keep that going in as well. And that should fill that in, and we've got now a nice little armhole going in there. I think let's call this right arm hole mat. Let's see what happens there. Oh, in fact, let's before we do anything else, let's link that, of course, to our core track. So you can see that takes out a load of that camera movement. In fact, I don't have to start to do anything else after that clip, because all that's left after that really, actually I have to do a tiny wee bit here. I was thinking that all I was going to have to do was do from before, but not to worry. But the track did do most of the work for us, so that's nice. Okay. Zoom out. Take that blend mode to subtract. So we can see it properly down in this area here. Between those looking fine. What I'm intending to do is use Mocha Shape to handle all of those imports and exports. So this here isn't going to be the be all and end all here. There we go. So I'm just going to hurry up and quickly roto the rest of the stuff out using the same sort of techniques, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay.